Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another C++ programming class. So today we want to um, code with the practice question. The question states, write a complete C++ program that has a main function, a get to numbers function, and a find big one function. So we are having two other functions apart from the main function. So I can copy this, I'll paste it here. So with this, I've defined the prototype, the function prototype, although it's incomplete, and also find big number function. So you can come here. So we have um, two functions, although the definition is not complete. So I can just put void. I can put void just for now, right? So, so the main function calls the get to number function. The main function calls the get to number function. Okay, so it's calling the get to number function here. Okay, which asks the user for two integers. So it asks the user for two integers, then the program send the two integers to find big one, which return the larger one. Okay, so then we can come here and say, for the get to number function, it will ask the user for two integer. Then it will return those integer to the main function. So this is what it's saying. So the get to number function, right, will ask the we ask the what the user for two integers. So how do we go about it? Because this get to number function, we ask the user for two integers and it will pass it to the main function. So what we can do is we can create two integers here, and say, okay, int, let's say num1, num2, because they are two integers. So now we know that a function can only have a single return statement. So for it to return two values to the main function, it means we'll have to use the concept of either pointers or call by reference using reference parameters. So what we will do is we'll pass these two as arguments here. We'll pass it here. We'll be passing their address if we want to use the concept of a pointer. So in the in the prototype, then we have to specify that we're using the concept of a pointer. You can see that the error has been removed. So this function will ask the user for two numbers and it would then be able to return, you know. So let's look at the concept again. So we can copy this and go to the implementation, come here and paste. So if we're using the pointer, it means it will not be returning anything. So we can do this. Num1, the pointer to num1, and pointer to num2. So we can come here and ask the user now. We want to ask the user to input two numbers. So for us to ask the user, we have to print on the screen, please input two integer number. Okay, so we can then come new line, then we're done with our statement. Then you can come here and say in where the pointer is pointing to. So two ways you can do this. So it means whatever you type into through the keyboard will be saved where this pointer is pointing to. Where the pointer is pointing to num1. So we are passing the address of num1 to this pointer. So it means whenever we input any number from the keyboard, it's not going to the pointer because the pointer holds an address, but it's going to the address the pointer is pointing to, which is num1. So it means whatever we input is going directly to num1, and whatever we input also will be going to num2. So we can just do that directly this way. You understand? So with this, we've been able to get two values from the user, and it has returned it to the. So because we're not using any return statement, you can see that the return data type is void. So we have to ensure consistency. Okay, that is taken care of. So then we have to pass those values. Since we've been able to get values now using this function, so we've been able to pass values to num1 and num2. Yes, so the program now says, then the program send the two integer to find big number. Or what we'll be doing is we'll be passing two integers, um, integer value to this. So what we can do is and this find big will return the larger number. So because it's returning a larger number, so the larger number, the return statement will be an int. It's returning a value. So what will be the data type of the value is an int. So we can come here, copy this, or I can copy this and go to the main function and paste it. So I will just, what am I passing? I'm passing num1 and num2. Okay. So I'm passing num1 and num2, and it will return, this function will return the larger number. So we can have a number and just say, okay, this will be the larger number, right? So whatever it returns, it will return what? The larger number. So whatever it returns will be saved where? In the larger number. So we can now print out. Let's say we can now print out the the larger value, the larger value between what? You know, between what? Num1, we want to paste the value. Okay, num1 and let me give a space and num2, num2 okay, and just is I can use a tab. So what is what? The larger number. Larger number. Okay, so I can end the line. So, so let's go and write the implementation for this function. So this function is returning a value, an integer value. So the return data type is this. So the function, the line. So what we then have to make a decision. We can now say if num1 is greater than num2. If num1 is greater than num2, return, you would use the return statement, return num1, right? Do you understand? Or you can also use an if, else if, let's just say this num2 is less than, we can use num2 is less than, num1 is less than num2, then we return num2, we return else, 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 you return, else, you return num1. So the last one is if they are equal. So if if this is greater than this, return num1. Um, else, if this is less than this, you return num2. Otherwise, just return one of them because this statement is only valid if they are equal, right? I don't want to write if they are equal. So just return one of them. So that's just the implementation. Let's look at it once more. Once more. So it asks us to, okay, write a complete, that has a main function. This is the main function. That is where execution starts from. Okay. And get to numbers function and find the big number. So we have get to numbers function and find the big number, right? So the main function calls the get to number function, which asks the user for two integers. So the main function calls this function. And so what is the full implementation of that function? It asks the user to input two numbers, right? Two integer number. So it means this get to number function would return two integer value to the main function. The way it can do that is to use the concept of a pointer because you can't have two return statements in a function. Just only a single return statement will work, right? So you can use the concept of a pointer whereby you pass the address of those numbers you want to fill in, you pass it to this get to numbers and you use the concept of a pointer. So invariably, as you have this pointer, as you're passing the address, it's just like saying this pointer is equal to the address of num1. So you're passing this. The address of this is coming to this pointer, right? The address of this is coming to this pointer. Then with this, whatever you input from the keyboard will be going to where this pointer is pointing to, and which is what? Num1. And also this will be going to num 2. So with that, you've been able to solve that problem. All right. Um, nice implementation. So let's run and see how it goes. Okay. So let's run. Let's run and see. It has successfully debugged. See. Okay, please input an integer number. Let's say 20 and let's say 45. The larger value between 20 and 45 is 45. Okay, you can see it runs successfully. Now, the last part of the question states incorporate a loop in the main function so that the user can keep entering um, the two values as long as he or she desires. So what you can do is to incorporate a loop by creating a character called choice, and you can assign it a value um, called y. So, you can use a while loop here, uh, while while choice is equal to y, or your choice is equal to capital Y. So do this. So do this. Uh, so pause the screen. So pause the screen so you can then ask the user the out. So you want to run this program again. Y for yes and for no. And for no. So okay. And for no. So let's see how it goes. Oh, sorry. Um, I'm going to have an error. So then I should ask the user to use choice. Okay. So let's see. Let's see 45 and 32. Okay, let's see. Okay. So it's asking us. So what we can do in that regard, let's do another one. 45 and 76. Okay, so let me input a value, say no. So we can actually clear the screen by using a system command. Let me see the clear CLS. Okay. Let's see. 20, 34, 34. Okay. We want to continue. Yeah. Oh, okay. So let's close it. So I think just let's yes. Let's debug it. Okay. 5. Do you want to continue? Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Do you want to continue? Yes. Okay. So let's make it sleep. Let's make it sleep. Okay. So we've been able to achieve what we want. Okay.